It's hard to find an expert more dedicated than John Clayton. He's the consummate pro.
We'll see how the 4-3 and the cover 3 work together.
John Clayton with the latest.
Thanks, Dan. Take care.
From the NFL, Drew Brees answers the $100 million question. Rejuvenated Alex Smith talks about
And whenever we need a brilliant insight, he's available at the drop of a hat.
Hey, Mom! I'm done with my segment!
This is It Was a Thing on TV.
Total Red Man has ever done something like this to me!
It's, Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the dregs of humanity!
Episode 253, submission number 2111. Top Secrets. Shh.
It's a secret.
It's a secret. Okay.
Yeah, it's a secret.
Okay. All right. Top Secret was a series of 3 unsold pilots, all for CBS, in 1988.
Shh. Don't say anything.
Guys, I think we could use Garrett Morris here to help out.
Okay.
With helping out for the deaf. Yeah.
For the
Okay.
deaf and hard of hearing.
Oh, I can't really yell because my windows are open and my neighbors are. So, what do you guys do?
Oh, I can do it. No one's here.
Okay.
Top Secret was a series of unsold pilots for CBS, 3 of them in 1988.
Good, the cops aren't coming.
It's time to play Top Secret. Here are the clues. I can get you into hot water. My ring won't fit your finger. Eventually, you're bound to pull my plug. And I'm your rubber ducky's personal pun. The top secret answer is... From Television City in Hollywood, you can win over $15,000 in cash if you can conceal your identity on... Top Secret! And here's the man with all the secrets, Wink Martindale. Thank you, Johnny Gilbert. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much, and welcome to Top Secret.
By the way, when I did the stream lounge last night, or the other night with Andy, we were watching Ant-Man. Garrett Morris randomly pops up in the movie for some reason. You remember that, Chico?
I do!
Garrett Morris just randomly pops up. Why he pops up, I don't know.
Hey, it's Garrett Morris. He ain't need a reason. He's one of the original not ready for prime time players.
He's Chico.
Need a reason.
He's Chico Escuela.
He's Chico Escuela.
He's one of the most famous Mets from 1973.
Right? Right. Anyway, Top Secret. How do you get from game show idea to incredibly hard to find board game in one swoop? The answer, Wink Martindale. It was the 1980s, and having hosted his fair share of game shows and found incredible success with everything he ever did, Wink Martindale, host of Gambit, host of Tic-Tac-Toe, host of more game shows than I can remember, he turned his hand at creating game shows. He created Headline Chasers in 1986, and then he created Bumper Stumpers in 1987. Bumper Stumpers lasted a little bit longer than Headline Chasers, but only because it was on cable where the standards were really low.
And also it was a Canadian production.
Oh yeah, where it was dirt cheap to produce.
And also, the guy from Bare Naked Ladies was a contestant.
That would be Stephen Page.
You're not wrong, yeah.
Stephen Page was a contestant on Bumper Stumpers. Thank you.
And the theme to Bumper Stumpers is one of my favorites.
Yes, Ed Lejeski is one of the greatest musical composers of my childhood. And I say this because as a choir boy, like half of our arrangements were done by Ed Lejeski.
Oh, wow.
Well, also, I think we do need to make a little correction. Let's use the past tense because I am pretty sure he's not with us any longer.
Okay.
But also, since you mentioned Ed Lejeski, not only did he do Bumper Stumper's theme, he did the Top Secret theme.
Yes, and if you follow Wink Martindale on YouTube,
oh yeah, that's the theme.
Are you've already heard it.
You've already heard it. Do 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 do.
And of course, we played it at the top of the podcast. That plus the actual opening by Johnny Gilbert. But yeah, this is basically Wink Martindale creation number 3. Is he third time lucky? Because remember, Headline Chasers was done by Merv Griffin in 1986, but it didn't really go anywhere. Well, actually, it had 1 full year in syndication, and that was it.
Bumper Stumpers had the support of Barry Enright.
Yep, and Global Television.
And I was to say 2 networks, USA and Global, yeah.
But for Top Secret, Wink Martindale was pretty much flying on his own. Well, not on his own, because he created the show with his partner at the time, Jerry Gilden. And it was on paper, it seemed like a very simple premise. Keep your identity secret while trying to suss out your opponents. On paper, it seems like a good idea. Then there was the whole fleshing a game out of it. That's where you fall into the chasm. Here's how a typical game of Top Secret is played. 3 players have 4 clues, each worth $250, $500, $750, and $1,000. The $250 clue is the hardest, and the $1,000 is usually the easiest. You win money by answering questions whose values are determined by a random number generator atop of the player's line of sight. Not unlike the Press Your Luck board, the lights chase while the values change. The only way to know for sure how much a question is worth is to ring in with an answer. You ring in with the correct answer, you win that money and a chance to reveal one of your opponent's clues based on how much money you have in your bank. If you are wrong, you are locked out of the next question and play continues with another toss-up. You eliminate your opponent by correctly figuring out who they are supposed to be. And of course, clues are usually punny, bordering on dirty. For example, let's use the one that was used at the top of the show. I can get you into hot water. My ring won't fit your finger. Eventually, you're bound to pull my plug. And I'm your rubber ducky's personal pond. You would figure out the top secret identity of bathtub. Every time you knock out a player or close their case in game parlance, you win $100. And the last player standing keeps the money in their bank.
Wait, what did you say?
They keep the money in the bank.
Oh
no. Did I just say the secret word, Groucho?
Get a rep out here right now. I'm cashing in my money in the bank.
Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's time to finally reveal my money in the bank for late May. And Mike, I promise this is not going to be terrible. Okay, you ready?
For the record, I have no idea, and neither does Mike, what Greg picked.
Nope.
We are all finding out together right now.
Okay, you ready?
Here we go. choice! Good choice! Good choice! Good choice!
If you want your star on the boulevard, fortune, power, and fame, call Teddy, 'cause he can play that game. He's the man to see. You'll go far. He'll turn your dreams to reality. He'll make you a star. Just call up the famous Teddy Z.
That's right, in May, the famous Teddy Z will be my Money in the Bank on the pod.
My man!
And the best thing is, this week I discovered that Crackle has the entire series on the famous Teddy Z, so you can watch all 20 episodes on Crackle, so...
My man!
Greg, I'm curious, what drove you to choose this show as your Money in the Bank? I have an enthusiasm. It's not as big as Chico's, but I still, you can see my face. I was smiling. I think that's a great choice. What was your thinking behind doing that, besides picking a show that's better than Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle show?
Well, that, and also because Alex Rocco won an Emmy for this show, but also this is John Cryer's first TV show.
Well, yeah, very young John Cryer. I was wondering if it's maybe something that you remember from, when you're 3 or 4 years old.
Something I remember when I was 8 or 9 years old.
Well,
I remember it too, yeah.
Well, I was like way too young when this show originally aired, but it's like I've seen like so much of this show, like through like stories about it over the years. And when I finally discovered it was on Crackle, you know what? I thought, we've been talking about maybe doing this show one day. I figured now it's the perfect time.
You played your hand perfectly.
Good job.
Very good.
Good job.
Well, okay, so now let's get back to Top Secret. Okay, so they have the Money in the Bank. What happens next, Chico?
Okay, the winner of the game, and they played theoretically, they're supposed to play 2 games in a half hour. Theoretically. The winner of a game wins a chance to go to the Super Sleuth round, where they have to solve 6 more top secrets with 3 clues each for $5,000. However, if they win a second time, they go back to the Super Sleuth for an additional $10,000. So if you do it right, you could win $15,000. Win or lose, if you win both games, you return the next day, theoretically, as the champion. And of course, since this is 1988, I believe the earnings cap on CBS would still be 50,000.
Yeah, because wouldn't it have...
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been bumped up to 75,000 until, 92?
Well, no, wouldn't it have been like before 90? Because didn't we talk in the Super Jeopardy episode about how Frank Spangenberg had to give money to charity because Jeopardy aired on certain CBS affiliates? And I think the cap was $75,000.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. So if you do it right, you can make a whole lot of money. But if there are 2 different game winners in a half hour, the player who did the best in the Super Sleuth round will be crowned the champion and return to face 2 challengers on the next day. So if you get 5, your opponent has to meet or beat that number in order to return the next day.
So basically, it's pyramid rules from the 80s.
It's pyramid rules from the 80s, yes. And that's the game. 3 pilots were made. Wink Martindale has one on his YouTube channel, and there is a bootleg recording also on this YouTube.
Of the third pilot.
Of the third pilot. second pilot lost to time. I don't know.
Or it hasn't been publicly available. It's
Yeah.
sitting in a vault somewhere. Who knows?
Right. So you guys want to play a game of Top Secret?
Sure, I guess.
Yeah, we're not doing anything else right now.
All right.
It's time to play Top Secret. Here are the clues. I can get you into hot water. My ring won't fit your finger. Eventually, you're bound to pull my plug.
They're really trying to sell the whole espionage aspect of this show, aren't they?
Pretty much.
From Television City in Hollywood, you can win over $15,000 in cash if you can conceal your identity on Secret. And here's the man with all the secrets, Wink Martindale.
He is a man with a lot of secrets.
Thank you very much, and welcome to Top Secret. Nice to have all of you with us. This is the show that's all about discovering secret identities. So let's get started by meeting and discovering the identities of today's players. Here they are.
You gotta love that set. It's very. I love the chasing lights. I love the chromed out letters.
Hi, Rick. I'm Sharon McMurtry. I'm a flight attendant. I'm married.
And the thing of it is, it's nice and compact too. So
Good luck as you play. Mike, how about you?
it's big, but it doesn't look big. Or is it?
I'm a personnel
Or it's small, but it doesn't look small. That's what I meant to
I
say.
lost it about 20 years ago. Mike, good luck on this show. Wendy, how about you?
I'm Wendy Martell, originally from Pasadena, California, and I'm a personal assistant to an attorney.
Sounds like a good job.
It's a great job.
Ready to play our game?
I am, yes.
Players, hello. Let's go. All right. Before the show, we had each player randomly select a top secret file, just like the one you saw at the beginning of the show. Each file contains one identity plus 4 clues that should reveal that identity. The clues can be bought when a player earns the purchase price of $250, $500, $750, or $1,000. The money is earned by correctly answering these top secret toss-up questions. Now, the value of each of these questions is determined by our cash randomizer. Our players can earn between $100 and $1,000 when they lock in an answer, like so. In this particular case, that answer would be worth $800 in cash.
So you see where this pilot is simple, but at the same time incredibly complex.
Only the last player remaining in each game will get to keep his or her cash and go on to play our Super Sleuth round. Everybody ready to play? Ready! All right, here is your...
Yeah, I can see how it can get complex.
His pros or his nose. Which one of these did Cyrano de Bergerac?
I shall let you know that every toss-up question is an either-or question. You're either going to get it right or you're not. If you get it wrong, obviously you are locked out of the next question. Now here's your first $250 clue. When it comes to cash, I've had my fill.
All right, Mike, are you a register? Not a register. Or a cash register either, for that matter. Chest tube or boob tube. Which one of these lets us see what Dolly Parton has to... Wendy for...
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Lets us see what Dolly Parton has to offer. Yeah, the Dolly Parton show.
Yeah.
Get it.
Who you want to buy?
I see what you did there. I read the Chris Evans clip. I understood that reference.
I understood that reference.
Sometimes I give people gas.
3 seconds, Wendy.
Broccoli.
Wendy, if...
Sometimes I give people gas.
Broccoli, you're going to be embarrassed. Sharon, are you broccoli? No, she's not broccoli.
It is not broccoli, but I can tell you right now, broccoli will give you gas.
Princess Di called Prince Charles. Mike for $800. It's duck bottom. No, it's fish face. That's what Princess Di called Prince Charles. All right, Mike, you got to lay out on this one. We'll lock you out of play. Next toss-up goes to Wendy and Sharon only. Peanut 1 or Amy 2. Which of these was the name of Jimmy Carter sent Wendy for $300?
Amy 2.
No, Peanut 1 was the name of Jimmy Carter's campaign jet. Mike, you're back in with...
Peanut. Oh, I get it, because he was a peanut
Yeah,
farmer.
he was a peanut farmer.
Or the pregnant one. Traditionally, in a double wedding, which of these refers to the bride who gets to go to the altar first? Sharon for $450.
The oldest one?
That's right, the oldest one. Might have been a guess, but it was an educated guess. You have $600, Sharon. Whose clue you want to buy?
600. Mike for 500, please.
All right, here's what we know about Mike's secret identity to this point, Sharon. Listen carefully.
Alright, Mike's secret identity. When it comes to cash, I've had my fill. And now, his second clue, it's not funny how kids are always breaking me up.
Time's up. Next question. Listen carefully. Yogi or Boo Boo? Which one have you played with the Yankees? Wendy for $700. Yes, Yogi, you got it. Now you got a lot of money to play with, too.
I don't know what's worse. The clues or the questions?
First of all, let's take a look at the first two clues and see what we know about.
How about both?
Okay. Alright, when it comes to cash, I've had my fill. It's not funny how kids are always breaking me up. And your third clue is, when you bring home the bacon, put it in me.
Wendy, 3 seconds.
He has to be a piggy bank.
If he's a piggy bank, you have $100, and Mike says bye-bye to us. Mike, are you a piggy bank? I'm afraid I'm a piggy bank. You did it.
Yeah, the bacon clue gave it away.
Bacon. Everybody loves bacon, Mike.
Second chance to play later in the show, but for now, Mike, your case is closed.
One thing I don't like about this show already, they force you to buy a clue if you have enough money.
Yes.
I don't like that. I know that stresses out the game, but you should be able to bank up your money and knock off $1,000 clue and then a $750. I don't like having to play the clues, but I get it to fill out the length of the show.
Although each of the pilots are 23, 24 minutes in length, so there's still a lot of, if you're talking about half an hour of game show time in 2022, you'd still have to find, 2 minutes to cut off somewhere.
Yeah, because aren't the GSN shows usually 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Wendy for $800. Got to be Little Abner. It was Little Abner's home. You have $1,000, Wendy. How do you want to spend it?
I want Sharon's $1,000.
You're going to spend it all on that big $1,000 clue. All right, again, let's review Sharon.
Alright, remember, sometimes I give people gas, and my job makes me feel down in the mouth. Good night, everybody!
Is it a gas pump?
Sharon, are you a gas pump? Not a gas pump. Have to try again later, Wendy. Sharon, get stuck in the bathtub or break his bed in half. Which of these was 300-pound Robert Taft, the first president to do in the White House? For $500, Sharon.
Something with the bathtub?
That's right. Get stuck in the bathtub. That's the only thing that refers to the bathtub, so I know that's what you meant. Option number 1. Sharon, you have $650 to spend. There's only one clue you can buy, so let's go to it, all right? Wendy, he wants to see your $500 clue.
Okay. I'm not always true, but you can bank on me.
Wendy, your $500 clue.
And the $500 clue, that's used to hang over me a lot.
All right, Sharon, 3 seconds.
Could it be a piano?
That's faster, Sharon.
I was thinking a pool table.
Out of the game. Wendy, are you a piano? No. And Sharon, you look so sure of yourself, too. Try this. Grasshopper or cockroach? Which one is supposed to come served in a glass at a box? Wendy.
A grasshopper.
Yes, for $300. All right, Wendy, that's $300. Let's give you enough to buy her next clue because her next clue is going to cost $500. Listen to this. Players, his mistress or his mother. Who did Bart...
Oh yeah, if you don't have enough to buy a clue, game just continues.
That's right. Use his mother as a model. All right, Wendy, you're up to $550. You can buy a clue.
I would like Sharon's $500 clue, please.
All right, first of all, let's go to Sharon and see what we know about her.
Alright, your clues. Sometimes I give people gas. My job makes me feel down in the mouth.
Sharon, what's your $500 clue?
And for $500, I could crown the queen if I had to.
Wendy, 3 seconds.
A prince.
If she's a prince, you have $100. Sharon, are you a prince? No, not a prince. Again, Cain or Abel. Which one of you was related to Cain? Sharon, for $250. Abel, yes, Cain and Abel. Sharon, with $400, not enough to buy her $750 clue. Here's your next top secret toss-up. Macaroni or Marvin? Which one is the name of Yankee Doodle's feather? Wendy for $350.
Macaroni.
Yes, macaroni from the song. Put a feather.
Called it macaroni.
Yep.
All right, Wendy, you have a total now of $400. Still now, you'll both have $400. Neither one of you can buy a clue. Next question. Her feet or her fanny? What did Ronnie Anderson say is the one part of her body she wishes were smaller? All right, Wendy, for $700.
Her feet.
Yes, she wishes her feet were a great deal smaller.
Because, duh.
Where do you move?
Yeah.
$750 clue.
All right, she wants your $750 clue, Sharon. This is the final clue. If you guess correctly, Wendy, you'll win $100 in the game. Guess incorrectly, and Sharon will pick up $100 and win the game. So this is very important. This is what we know about Sharon so far. Sometimes I give people gas. Plus, I could crown the queen if I had to. And
My job makes me feel down in the mouth, and for $750, with a little drilling I can get on your
3
nerves.
seconds, Wendy.
A dentist.
Wendy, if she's a dentist, you'll have $100.
It is a dentist.
Sharon, are you a dentist?
It hurts, but I am.
Oh, I get it. I could crown the queen if I had to. Because you get it? A crown?
And also gas. So Wendy wins $350. Well, actually, it's $450 now, and she goes on to the Super Sleuth round right after this break, which is not really a break because pilot.
Duh. This is the pilot.
Yeah, there's no commercials in pilots.
Silly.
That's just crazy town. Thanks, Johnny Gilbert. Did I mention that Johnny Gilbert once said my name?
You mention that all the time, Chico.
I know. I just love saying it.
Oh! The Super Sleuth briefcase. And the money has Wink's face on it.
On this briefcase, you'll have 60 seconds to solve 6 secret identities. Each identity will have 3 clues, Wendy. You may take one guess for each clue, and if you don't know the answer after the 3rd clue, you may pass on to the next identity. Each correct answer will earn you a couple of $100, and if you can correctly solve 6 in 60 seconds,
Okay.
you'll win $5,000. Can you do it?
I hope so.
Can you use the money?
Yes, of course.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Ready? Go. Clue 1. My camels are in herds, not cartons.
I don't pass.
Clue 2. The $25,000 pyramid is my kind of show.
Get smart.
No, clue 3.
Egypt.
I'm not complaining, but this place stinks.
Egypt.
Yes,
Egypt.
Clue 1.
Yeah.
I've appeared at Carnegie Hall. Clue 2. When I have a baby, it's grand.
Piano.
Clue 1. While I'm violent, I've been called civil.
Child.
No, clue 2. Some folks say I'm hell.
War.
No, clue 3. Without me, Tolstoy would have only...
War.
Yes. Clue 1. I'm not lazy, but I work in my robe. Clue 2. When I enter, I get a rise out of everyone.
Judge.
Judge.
Clue 1. I get smacked at the dinner table. Clue 2. I bring a smile to your face.
Oh, the guy I get smacked at the dinner table. Whoever gets slapped by Zachary Quinto.
Oh, lift. Clue 1. I was Seward's biggest folly. Clue 2. My next door neighbors are red.
Oh.
Green? The last clue up there was going to be, yes, there's no place like Nome. Nome, Alaska.
Oh, Alaska.
No.
No.
But she has $800, 4 right, $800, and she will be champion as long as somebody does not beat that in the next game. Because pyramid rules.
Well, obviously.
Okay, just after that first round, one big strategy is look for the pun. Look for the punny clue. I mean, I'm looking at the clues that you guys are just playing along with, and it's like if you can suss out that one word, you can nail these in one, generally 2 terms.
Yeah.
That's one of your throw-saving fails there.
If you win this game, you'll play this next Super Sleuth round for $10,000. So there's a lot at stake as we continue with all new clues and all new identities for you. Players, here comes your next top secret toss-up. Good luck to all of you. Humphrey Bogart or James Cagney? Which drug wore the rug? For $400, Sharon?
Humphrey Bogart?
Humphrey Bogart. He always wore a little hairpiece all during those great years in the movie. All right, Sharon, you have $400. Who would you like to buy?
I'll take Wendy for $250, please.
Going over there for Wendy's $250 clue. She just gave you a rough look there, Sharon. Wendy, take a look at your $250 clue and read it to us, please.
I'm bright and engaging.
Sharon, 3 seconds.
A light bulb.
Pardon?
A light bulb.
A light bulb. Wendy, are you a light bulb? Well, that's a good guess.
Oh.
Sharon, I like that. They're shells or they're sex. Which do oysters change once a year? Mike, for $250. They change their sex. That's right. Well, that was the longest answer we've had on Top Secret. You have $250, Mike. Sharon for $250. Moving over to Sharon for her first clue for $250. Sharon, as we try to eke out an identity from you, what does that clue say?
All right, first clue: the British burns me up.
Mike, 3 seconds.
The White House.
The colonies, American colonies. Sharon, are you the American colonies? No way. Next question. Learn to swim or get drunk. Which of these was Noah, the first man in the Bible, that Mike for $700? He got drunk. He got drunk, yeah. He planted the first vineyard after the flood, then went out and celebrated. Mike, you have $700. How do you spend it? $500. The Wendy clue for $500. All right. This is what we know about Wendy so far, Mike. I'm bright and engaging. Give me your $500 clue, Wendy.
I'm often copied, but the original is carbon.
Mike, 3 seconds.
It's a diamond.
It's a diamond. Mike, if you're right with your answer, diamond, Wendy's eliminated. You have $100. Wendy, could it be that you are a diamond?
Yes, I'm a
Yes,
diamond.
Mike, congratulations. Wendy, you've been discovered.
That was easy.
Which eliminates you from this game. But you've won $1,250, Wendy, so far. But more importantly, you earned $800 in the Super Sleuth round. We'll see how that score holds up a little later. But right now, Wendy, your case is closed. Hope to see you again later. Time will tell.
So what?
$100 to your score, bringing your spendable amount to
diamonds.
$300. Okay,
Yeah.
1 down, 1 to go. Let's find out who will win this game as we continue with this next top secret toss-up question. Scarecrow or Mrs. King? Which one would Mr. King hang in his cornfield to frighten the birds? Mike, for $150. A scarecrow. You got to know it'd be a scarecrow. That's $450, Mike. Not enough cash to buy Sharon's next clue, so here's your next question. Both of you, stretch or belt? In the morning, which of these is the first thing ants do? Mike, for $300. They belt. No, would you believe they actually stretch? Mike, you got to lay out on this question. Sharon, this is for you and you alone. Nebraska or Kentucky? In which state did Abe Lincoln take his first breath?
Kentucky.
That's right, for $250.
Kentucky.
Sharon, you have
Because he sure as hell didn't do it in Nebraska.
I would like to buy Mike's $250 clue.
Mike, it's the first time we've seen one of your clues trying to edge into your secret identity. What is your $250 clue, Stella? I'm sure I make more bread than you do. Sharon, 3 seconds.
Anybody.
Mike, are you anybody?
Nope.
Sharon, that was cute. I like that a lot. Here's your next question. Ken or Barbie? Ken or Barbie? Which one of these would you throw your shrimp on? Mike, for $850. On the Barbie. You got it, on the Barbie. Down in Australia, that's the way they do it.
I wonder what the reaction is. I'm going to put my shrimp on the Ken.
He's going for it, Sharon. But first, Mike, let's see what we know about Sharon's identity. The British burned me up. Sharon, what's your $1,000 clue?
You can find me sitting
Yeah.
on Pennsylvania Avenue.
3 seconds. The White House. Mike, if you're right with your answer to the White House, you'll win the game and add $100 to your bankroll. Sharon, are you the White House?
I'm the White House.
So that means, Mike, you're our winner. Congratulations. Sharon, you're anything but a loser because you play this game so well. However, you've been discovered, which eliminates you from this game. We have some parting gifts for you. Our thanks. And Sharon, your is closed.
Thank you so much.
He's closed.
Thank you. Lovely.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Mike, we're going to add $100 to your score.
All right, Mike gets 100. He goes on to the Super Sleuth round, where he has to beat 4. He has to get more than 4 right in order to win.
You'll have a chance to add $5,000.
Okay.
When Top Secret continues, right after this. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Again, this is a pilot, no commercial break.
We don't do commercials in pilot month.
No.
Back to Wink and the Super Sleuth round. Okay, John, thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Well, Mike,
Apologies to Scott Hansen, by the way.
Super Sleuth round. You'll be playing for a chance now to win up to $5,000. Let's go to the Super Sleuth briefcase. Come on.
That is a big briefcase, by the way.
Oh, it is a big briefcase.
I don't know if anybody's mentioned it, but that is a huge briefcase.
You'll have 60 seconds to solve 6 secret identities. Each correct answer will pay you $200. Solve all 6, and that's where you win the $5,000. Okay? I'm ready. You understand each other? Yes, I do. 60 seconds on the clock, please. Ready? Go. 2-1. When I fly, I take my trunk. A train.
Dumbo.
2. I worked for Peanuts in a movie. Snoopy. No,
Still Dumbo.
For an elephant, I'm pretty smart-o. Dumbo. Right. Clue 1. Sometimes I wear a brown jacket. Pass. Clue 2. I show up to dinner even when I'm stuffed. Turkey. No. Clue 3. A waiter may say, this bud's for you. Potato. Yes.
Potato.
I love to keep people waiting. Tap. Clue 2. I don't mind needling you. So easy.
A doctor.
Clue 3. Spock and Suit.
Doctor.
Doctor. Yes. Clue 1. People pull strings to make me talk.
Dummy.
No. Clue 2. I have 72 freckles and red hair. Howdy doody. Yes. Clue 1. Some men learn to live without me. Tap. Clue 2. Strand for strand, I come out on top. Tap. Clue 3. Women do like to tease me. Hair. Yes. Clue 1.
Hair.
I'm into TV for the big buck. Tap. Clue 2. I'll interrupt your daily program. Commercial. Yes.
News.
Commercials.
Yep. 6 is better than 4 all day on this show, my friend. That man has $5,000. Don't know if he ever got the money, but there you go. We're gonna go and total everything up. Old girl, she leaves with like $1,200.
Yeah.
Mike is going to be back tomorrow with $5,400.
Yeah. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. This is not a video, Pies. You'd see me doing things with my fingers.
You can hear the air quotes.
All 3 of us are doing the same thing right now.
Little rabbit, foo foo, jumping through the forest, scooping up the field, mice and matching them on the head. And that's the pilot. I mean, it's a simple guessing. It is a simple guessing game in a time where there were not that darn many guessing games on television. Although it wasn't really that simple if you think about it. It was a simple guessing game made overtly complex. If you get what I'm trying to say.
Yes, we get what you're trying to say.
Yeah. And CBS took a look at all 3 pilots and just thought... And remember, they were looking for something to replace Blackout with while they were trying to figure out what they're going to do with Family Feud.
Yeah, it premiered in July, the Ray Combs version on
Yep.
CBS.
This was supposed to be basically filler programming from the time they canceled Blackout to the time they launched Family Feud.
Which shows how much faith they had in Blackout.
Jay Wolpert joint. I mean, it wasn't a bad show. It was just like this show, overly complexified.
And maybe a little too punny for its own good.
Yeah. Maybe it needed Jay Wolpert writing for this. He is the master of puns.
Maybe it needed cardboard villains.
No, I think Lifetime would be a year or 2 removed from replacing cardboard villains with actual people.
You're not wrong. But so, yeah, this didn't make it, obviously, and They replaced Blackout with Pyramid for another 13 weeks. And what if Pyramid had actually done well? Would they have moved it elsewhere on the skid? Well, that would be kind of tough because CBS at this point, if Feud was airing at 10, Card Sharks was airing at 10:30, Price is Right's on at 11.
So maybe they would have had to cancel Card Sharks?
Well,
I was going to say, do they get rid of Card Sharks or do they, how dare they do this? Because really, I don't think this had been touched for over 20 years between like 87 and 2009. Do you touch one of those soaps? You had Guiding Light. I mean, you did have the New Kid on the Block, The Bold and the Beautiful, but obviously, 35 years later, that's still in the air.
Young and the Restless.
I think you're just in no man's land. You can't win. You can't get rid of anything off that lineup.
No, I mean, what we said, Guiding Light, Bold and the Beautiful, Young and the Restless. It's like, can't get rid of either of those three shows.
You really can't. It's like something had to give. There had to have been some sort of give. You would have had to take half an hour or a full hour from the affiliates, or you would have had to cancel something that didn't deserve to be canceled. You would have had to have done something.
Or you delay Feud yet again, making Mark Goodson even madder, probably.
Yeah,
that's no good. You don't want to make Mr. Goodson mad.
But Family Feud would have already been approved for syndication in the fall of '88, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So even if it didn't have CBS, it was going to be in syndication, the Ray Combs version.
Yeah, but having it on CBS undoubtedly helped Family Feud in syndication.
Oh, trust me, it did. I have fond memories of watching the CBS version, and I have fond memories of watching the syndicated version on Channel 9 here in New York. So.
Yeah, both versions aired here in Raleigh-Durham on the Big Five, so that just took all of the guesswork out of it.
I have fond memories of going to the doctor's office whenever I got sick and had to miss school and watching 92. Remember when they had Family Feud, the hour-long version on CBS?
The hour-long Family Feud? Oh, yeah.
With the bullseye round and everything. Oh, I loved going to the doctor's office and having it on and watching that.
Although the bullseye round, in retrospect, was just needless. In retrospect.
In retrospect, it was. But it was kind of fun seeing the bank build up.
Oh, yeah. An interesting story I'm reading from the game show Pilot Light. Wink Martindale has said at one point Top Secret had a berth on the schedule but was removed when there was an executive change at the iNetwork. It was not known what it would have been replaced with. The $25,000 Pyramid was canceled at the beginning of 1988, like we said, and its replacement, Blackout, was taking in the ratings. After 13 weeks, that was gone, and Pyramid was back, only to be replaced 13 weeks later with Family Feud. And also Card Sharks was still a thing.
At least until March of '89, when it was replaced by previous entry, the 1989 version of Now You See It.
Indeed. But this show does have a bit of a legacy, because not many shows can say they didn't make it out of pilots, but they did get a board game out of it.
Yes! How did this get approved as a board game? And how did this get passed into market? I don't understand.
I don't understand either.
Maybe CBS was that sure it was going to get on the lineup somehow. I don't know. Or maybe Wink bankrolled it. I don't know. I mean, it is credited to Wink Martindale, so he had to have some say when dealing with Parker Brothers.
Yeah, and if you look on BoardGameGeek.com, they do have pictures of the actual contents and the actual box. There are scenes from the pilot on the box. And all I can say is good luck finding this on the secondary market, because it was pulled not so much for the fact that the pilot failed, but mostly due to the fact that there was already a game on the market from TSR, the company founded by Gary Gygax to create and distribute Dungeons & Dragons, called Top Secret. In fact, if you look on the box sleeve, it says, Top Secret is a trademark owned and used under license from TSR. And this is where I have a neato fact of the day here. TSR was bought out by Wizards of the Coast in 1997. Wizards of the Coast was bought out by Hasbro in 1999, which has owned Parker Brothers since 1991, 3 years after this game entered the market.
So hypothetically, what you're saying is Hasbro could release a board game version of Top Secret now with the Top Secret name, and there'd be no lawsuits.
With apologies to Toy Galaxy's Dan Larson, Hasbro, till all are one.
I'll take that as a yes.
Well, they're never going to own Mattel anytime soon, so...
According to Board Game Geek contributor Alfonso Smith, who is also a friend of the podcast, I've heard, that sticker with the TSR license on it was added before the game was eventually pulled. So there you go. Some details about the game. Apparently it's a dice roll game, and it can be played 2 to 4 players, and it follows much along the lines of the actual show. One player is selected to read a trivia question. The player who answers that question correctly receives a random reward between 200 and 1,000 and must buy a clue from an opponent when afforded. Guessing an opponent's subject earns the guesser $500, with the other player eliminated from the game. The process repeats until one player remains, who then goes on to play the Super Sleuth round, where she or he must guess 3 secret subjects in under 1 minute. But yeah, good luck finding this on the secondary market. I did find a copy with one person who owns it, but I don't believe that they're willing to give it up for painfully obvious reasons that we will not go into here.
Duh.
He knows who he is. I think it would have been a fun game to play at a party. This reads like a fun party game, especially if you get the writing right, if you get the mechanics done right, and if you have a couple of libations to make it even more fun, maybe.
I just think for this show that there may be a limit on the material. I mean, how many times can you use the same punny words? How long before the audience, either contestants or the home audience, gets onto these punny little tricks in the writing and stuff? I just don't see it living that long just because of the material. Just my way of looking at it.
But yeah, apparently of all the users on Board Game Geek, only 14 of them own this game.
How many are on Board Game Geek?
How many users are on Board Game Geek?
Yeah.
I can tell you that. So me and 13 other people apparently know. No, there's a lot of people on Board Game Geek.
Yeah. It's like, I want to see the top 50 trending games. Click the top one and see how many people actually own it. 14. That does not help me. It's a different 14, but that still does not help me.
Oh, click on a popular game like Codenames or something like that. Everybody's got code names.
Okay, everybody. Or Catan. Everybody has.
I don't have Catan, but
everybody and their mother has Catan.
Except for me, obviously.
I don't have Catan.
Well, that's a you problem. No. Yeah, own 172,000. So yeah. At least 172,000 users on Board Game Geek. 14 of them own Top Secret.
Yeah, that's hard to find.
Indeed so. So what can we say except Top Secret? It was an interesting idea from a legendary host, creator, producer, and icon. And in 1988, it was, at least on paper, a thing on TV. But imagine what would happen if it got to TV. I mean, I imagine people would be able to play along with it, but would it translate to TV?
I don't know if it would have translated well. But it would have been like, I don't know, it would have been like kind of like one of those shows, even if it was like 13 weeks until Family Feud came on in July of 88. Sort of kind of fondly like for it being short-lived, but yeah, it wouldn't have lasted that long.
Yeah. Now, there was another pilot that spawned a board game, but that's another show for another episode. Wink, wink. I'm talking about Smartass.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
You guys want to know a secret?
What is it?
There are more shows like this at our website, at itwasathingontv.com.
There are more shows like this at our website, itwasathingontv.com.
God, Warner Brother, when you do that! Yeah, and we got all of the episodes, minisodes, live shows, links to our good friends at the Place to Be Nation. What's the drop this week?
Okay, well, it's 250 and 251, so it'd be Genesis 2 / Planet Earth and What's Alan Watching. And I gotta say, What's Alan Watching was probably like one of the most fun shows we ever did.
Yep. I took another listen, and it was an entertaining romp. I had a blast.
Especially, I wish you could have seen my reaction to, like, the clip of when, like, everyone's talking to Alan on the television.
Yeah, that clip.
It was an insane clip. I literally had my face in front of the camera like, what is going on? What am I watching right now?
What even is this?
Especially with Eddie Murphy protesting Court and Emmett going to prison.
I can't.
And why was Tiny Zeus Lister standing in front of Eddie Murphy as James Brown uncomfortably, like he was going to do some business with him?
You just answered your own question, Greg.
Well, he is the human wrecking machine in more ways than one.
Well, guys, normally I'd plug the episodes that we have planned for next week, but Greg, you found something.
Yes, we did. We found something. An episode of this particular series was unearthed because we did not have a full episode of this on YouTube. But Joe Murata and Michael Quinn from the Our Vantage Point Retro Wrestling Podcast unearthed this and covered this show on their podcast recently. So we thought, you know what? Maybe it's time we finally cover this on our podcast.
Maybe it is. So later this week, because this is Thursday as you're listening, there's going to be a bit of a break, an intermission, if you will, from the pilot month proceedings as we get set to settle it not in a courtroom, but in a ring.
In the ring, baby.
And that's coming up next time, right here on It Was a Thing on TV. Thanks for listening. Please be kind to each other, and we will see you for the next one.
Wow!
What the hell?
I made that for you, Brian.
Meg! Look, you obviously didn't hear me yesterday, so I'll explain it again. And here to assist me is headmaster of the New York School for the Hard of Hearing, Mr. Garrett Morris. Meg, we're not boyfriend and girlfriend.
We're not boyfriend and girlfriend!
I will never be attracted to you.
I will never be attracted to you!
You're acting like a psycho bitch.
You're acting like a psycho bitch!
Good night, and have a pleasant tomorrow.
Good night, and have a pleasant tomorrow!
I won't be ignored, Brian.
I like your ass.